Welcome to your yoga practice. It is Monday, January 6th, and in a lot of ways, kind of feels like New Year's Day. I don't know. My best friend has a theory that all things New Year's, goals, and so forth, they begin on the first work day of the new year. So here we are. We had 6 or 5 practice days, and now it is a fresh day, a fresh start for us. So you're here now, that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and celebrate that by stretching our arms out wide. Big inhale. And on your exhale, wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a hug. You might drop your chin towards your chest and sway a little if that feels right to you. Just breathing into this moment that you have created for yourself. And checking in with yourself, how are you feeling? And playing around with the idea that whatever is here for you now is okay. Even if we're not at our best, or if we're feeling low, or if we're on the other end of the spectrum, feeling wonderful at our best. And everywhere in between, we just practice acknowledging and allowing. No judgments here. Notice which arm you have on top if you're hugging yourself, and then on your next inhale, open your arms out wide, maybe even pull them back behind you a little bit. And when it's time to exhale, cross the opposite arm on top, giving yourself a hug again. A few more breaths like this. And just affirming to yourself, you know that you don't need to do anything that hurts. We use our time on our yoga mats to get to know ourselves without causing harm to do so. You can always adapt and adjust so things work for you. Sometimes that means kind of turning the volume up. Sometimes it's turning it way down. And as you stay here for a couple more breaths, I'll read our quote today. This is from a line from Swami Shivananda. Ahimsa, non-harming. Ahimsa is not mere negative non-injury. It is positive cosmic love. It is the development of a mental attitude in which hatred is replaced by love. A few more breaths, I'll read that again. Ahimsa is not mere negative non-injury. It is positive cosmic love. It is the development of a mental attitude in which hatred is replaced by love. One more time, we'll inhale, opening our arms out wide, and then stretch your arms up overhead, bringing the hands together. On your exhale, draw your hands down through midline and bring your gaze down with them. So right now we're gazing at our fingertips, hands together in prayer. Then let's release those 6 middle fingers, or 3, the ring fingers, middle fingers, and index fingers, keeping your pinkies, thumbs, heel of your hand together. So now our hands are in lotus or Padma Mudra. Gazing into the space, the center of your hands, the heel of your hands, the center of your lotus flower. Ahimsa is positive cosmic love, the development of a mental attitude in which hatred is replaced by love. So let's imagine or make an intention that we'll pay a bit more attention to how we speak to ourselves this week. So noticing our dialogue with ourselves. And anytime we notice something that falls short of an attitude of love, we will do our best to pause and redirect, replacing the hatred or the harsh language towards ourselves with more loving, more peaceful language. By practicing this with ourselves, we can cultivate it and then let it start spilling out into the world around us. All right, let's go ahead and bring our fingers all back together. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, drop your right hand to the ground. Stretch the left arm up and over, coming into lateral stretch, side stretch. On your next inhale, come to center, both arms up. Exhale, fold the other way. Right arm stretching up and over, left hand to the ground. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold to your right side. Stay for a breath. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold over to your left side. Imagine pulling up and then over. Inhale to center. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your legs. If your legs have been crossed the same way, maybe you switch them up. And we'll do our breathing exercises that I learned way back in massage school. So first we're going to imagine breathing into the lowest parts of our bellies. Hands on knees. Inhale as you lean forwards. Exhale as you lean back. You might even close your eyes here to help you really visualize that belly area. Let it expand. Let it get full. And we'll switch directions, inhaling forwards, exhaling back, soft belly, expanding more as you inhale forwards, drawing back a little as you exhale. Just another cycle or so. Good, and then coming to center, inhale, press your chest forwards, exhale, draw your chest back. So now as we do this, inhaling forwards, exhaling back, imagine breathing into kind of the middle range of your chest, those lower rib cages, middle. You can keep your head pretty still here, chin parallel to the ground, unless you want to bring in more neck stretch, inhaling, lifting the chin, exhaling, drawing it back. Couple more breaths here. Can you feel your ribs splay out as you inhale? Good. And then coming through center, hands to shoulders or as close as you can get. We'll inhale left, exhale right. Inhale, twist left, exhale, twist right. Go at a pace that makes sense for you. For some of us, doing this a little more rapidly, like a breath of fire, works, but you don't have to. Imagine breathing into the upper part of your chest here. Just a few more cycles. And come to center. Let's pause for just a moment. Do whatever you need to do with your arms and legs. Give yourself a few slower cycles of breath just to kind of come back to center. Lovely. And now we'll make our way all the way upright. So these big chest opening breaths. This is where we stand with a firm foundation. Inhale to sweep your arms up overhead. Really feel or imagine the breath coming all the way up. And then exhale, folding forward, sweeping your arms back and down. For some of us, it makes the most sense to do this kind of slow motion. And for some, they might do it a little more rapidly. You are welcome to breathe out through your mouth or to sigh. You could bring your hands to fists when they're up overhead and then kind of throw the energy down into the earth. A few more cycles. Let it work for you. This is a practice of ahimsa. Anytime we adapt things so that they are most appropriate and loving to ourselves, that is practicing non-harm, non-violence. One more. And then let's stand up tall, stretch your arms up. Bring your stance out a little bit wider even. You can have your toes point out, heels pointed in, arms up overhead. Inhale, stretch as high as you can. On your exhale, start to bend your knees, bend your elbows. This can just be a small goddess pose, Utkarta Konasana. Imagine leaning back against a wall. Imagine really kind of driving your knees back behind you. Inhale, stand up, reach up. Exhale, slide down. We'll do a few more like this. Again, it can be small, or if you're wanting more, you can step your feet out wider, maybe squat a little lower. Do this with your own breath. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, reaching down. And once you feel good enough with this, let's shift all of our attention to our feet. Try to lighten your toes and notice if you're distributing the weight evenly through your feet. Maybe it's kind of rolling towards the roots of your big toes, or maybe for you it's pinky toes. Let's try to land somewhere in the middle. So really balancing through your feet equally. And imagine rooting into the center of your heel. A couple more times, reaching up on an inhale, squatting down on an exhale. And the next time you squat down, go ahead and bring your hands to your knees. Adjust your stance anytime if needed. Lean forward a little, then dip your left shoulder towards the middle of the mat. Looking back over your right shoulder. And then come back to center and go the other way. And come through center. Let's get our hands to the ground and then pivot on your feet so that the toes and heels are in alignment. Hang heavy in your wide leg forward fold. If you wanted to grab blocks here to put under your shoulders or under your hands, you could. Keep in mind we can always adjust our stance also, so maybe you want to bring your feet a little closer together or farther apart. Can the head get any heavier here? One of my yoga teachers says to imagine the head like a dewdrop on a blade of grass. Just letting it drip off of the spine, nice and heavy. And then you can bend your left knee a little more. Walk your hands over to the left. Really stretch that right arm away from you, stretching through your right side body. And then come back through center and bend your right leg. Walk your hands over to the right side a bit. Really ground down through your left fingertips here as you pull your left hip back, stretching the left side body. And then return to center. Let's come to the top of our mat, feet about hips distance apart. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Pause here, shoulder blades sliding together. Your hands can be on your legs, or you can let your arms dangle. We can keep a bend in the knees here. Really engage your core muscles. Good. One more inhale. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, push into your feet to rise all the way up. Give yourself a full body stretch, reaching to the sky. Keep reaching up. See if you can lift your heels off of the ground any amount. Work with what you've got. And then feet on the earth, arms down by your side. Stand for a breath. Next inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forwards and down. Hands touching the ground. Let's step the right foot way back in space. Go ahead and lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Maybe you want to bring blocks under your hands here. We'll keep our hands grounded for a few more breaths. You can press your hips forwards and down, lift your heart a little. Good. Now imagine squeezing your legs towards each other. You could also imagine like you're dragging your right knee to your left foot. Keep that engagement as you start to lift your chest a little more. Really push your left foot into the ground. Maybe you can start lifting your hands off of the ground. Hands can come to your hips, your left thigh, or up to the sky. Breathe here. Another inhale. And on your exhale, drop your left arm down by your side. Stretch your right arm up and over. Keep pressing the top of your right foot into the ground. There's our stability, our anchor. And then come back through center. Inhale, both arms up if you can. Exhale, your hands down to the ground. Tuck the right toes. Step the left foot back, top of a push-up. Inhale here. Exhale here. One more inhale. And exhale, lower on down. Point your toes back. Light hands. Inhale, lift your heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Tops of the feet keep anchoring down. And exhale, lower down. Give yourself a breath. Then tuck your toes. Push yourself up and back to downward facing dog. Once you get there, remember that heavy head like a dewdrop. Let your head and neck relax. Hands really rooting into the ground. Shoulders can slide up towards the ears. And maybe sway your hips side to side, pushing your heels closer to the ground, but no attachment to getting them there. Depends on our bones. Good. From down dog, let's carefully lift the right leg to the sky. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward to plank pose, right knee to right elbow. Do the best you can. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, plank, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, plank, left. Right knee, left elbow. All right, inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step or swing the right foot to the top of the mat. This time, pivot the left heel down. We'll make our way up to warrior two. Always interesting to notice how quickly the body temperature can change. I regret turning the heat up. Give yourself a few breaths here. If you want more heat, you might pulse through your right leg a little. One more inhale. And exhale, cartwheel your hands to the ground. Now we're in a high runner's lunge, facing forward. Big inhale. Exhale, step your left foot up, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. On your inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Stand tall, hands pressing together, feet pressing down, and then let's bend our knees, sending the hips back. Find a little chair pose. One more inhale. And then exhale, stand up tall. Next in-breath, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Left foot steps way back in space. And then we can drop the left knee, untuck the toes so the top of the foot grounds. Maybe bring blocks under your hands. Good. Breathing here. Imagine pushing your hips down and forward. Lift your heart. Then imagine squeezing your legs towards each other. So really engaging the lower body, left knee dragging towards the right heel. Nothing might actually move, but we're looking for the engagement. Press your right foot into the ground. See if you can start lifting your hands off of the earth connection, reaching up to the sky. Fill in your breath. Inhale, maybe reach a little higher. Exhale, drop the right arm down by your side, pulling that left arm up and over to the right. So we're throwing off our balance. It could be really helpful to really press the top of your left foot into the ground. Feel that stretch through your left side body. And then come back to center, inhaling. Exhale your hands to the ground. Tuck your left toes. Step yourself back to plank pose. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath in. Good. Exhale, lower on down. Point your toes back. This time, let's push the hands into the ground, lifting the chest. If this doesn't feel good, don't do it. You can always do your favorite version of a cobra pose. Keep pressing the tops of your feet down. So we're still engaging that lower body. One more breath. And then lower down. Toes tucked, push yourself up and back. Downward facing dog. Give yourself a few breaths here in movement or in stillness. You know we're playing with those planks next, so if you need to take a pause in tabletop, go for it. Good. From down dog, inhale, lifting your left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward to plank pose, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, plank, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, plank, left knee, right elbow. Good. Breathing in, three-legged dog. And breathe out, step or swing left foot to the top of the mat. Pivot your right heel down, cartwheel your arms up. Whatever it takes, we'll meet in warrior two. Good, so settling in here, feet firmly planted, left heels pretty well centered with the right foot or arch. Arms really energetically outstretched. Maybe we want to give our wrists some extra love here, circling the wrists. Another slow breath in and out, pulsing that left leg if you want to add that. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Last inhale here. And on your exhale, cartwheel your hands to the ground, facing the front of the mat. We'll breathe in. And breathe out. Step that right foot up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold down. Inhaling, we'll rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Keep breathing while you slowly sit your hips back and down. Keep breathing while you stand up tall. So we can keep pressing our hands into each other as we sit back in our chair and stand up tall. And let's try a couple different breathing patterns. So inhale, sitting back and down. Exhale, standing up. Do that again. Inhale. And exhale, stand up. Then pause here. Inhale. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, stand. And then we'll pause, just noticing. I always wonder if people have a preference with the breath. Let's drop our arms down by our sides, maybe give things a shake out. And just stand tall for a moment. So we'll build a really firm mountain pose before we take our rest. So feet hips distance-ish, whatever feels steady beneath you. And you can rock forwards and backwards a little bit on your feet until you find that kind of just right spot in the middle. Toes are light, corners of your feet and heels rooted down. Then lift your kneecaps, so we're engaging our quadriceps. Lengthen your low back, so we're engaging our core to pull the low back down. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears, then slide them back and down. Draw your chin back in space a little bit and imagine lifting up through the very center crown of your head. Let your arms just hang nice and heavy. Breathing here, if it's available, you might close your eyes. And just give yourself a couple more breaths, eyes open or closed, of feeling what it is to stand so tall, standing with dignity and confidence. On your next breath in, let it really come in slowly and completely. And when it's time to breathe out, maybe the shoulders can soften just a little more. Maybe the feet can root down, soften into the earth just a little more. Then on an inhale, slowly sweep your arms out and up. Look up if you like. Exhale, fold all the way forwards and down. As you do this, go ahead and bend your knees. Drop to your seat and roll onto your spine. Open your arms out wide with your feet on the ground. Just let your legs fall over to the left side for a breath. And then back through center over to the right side. And back through center. Let yourself get as comfortable as possible. So maybe you're keeping your feet on the ground. Maybe you're stretching your legs long. We'll rest here for a moment, trusting that this time is just as valuable as the physical effort. Ahimsa is not mere negative non-injury. It is positive cosmic love. It is the development of a mental attitude in which hatred is replaced by love. Taking your time, returning to a seat, and perhaps returning to this idea of this week, noticing our internal dialogue, our self-talk, the ways we're engaging with ourselves. The invitation is to, as much as possible, replace any critical or unkind thoughts with more loving and kind thoughts. If you'd like to close this time together by chanting Om, you're welcome to join me sitting tall with your hands together in front of your heart. We'll take a big breath in to create our vibration of sound. Om. Deep bow of gratitude to you for sharing your time and energy. Gratitude to the ancient teachers and teachings. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Way to start the year.